Hi, welcome back. This is Dr. Lassane, and I want to take you now through some of the other pieces that you will need in order to be a successful student in LSSL 5360 for the spring semester. I want to review with you in this segment of the video the Assignments Overview tab at LiveBinder. In the first screencast, I showed you all about live binders, went through these different tabs, but for now we really want to focus on the assignments overview. So click on the tab and you'll see that underneath are three sub-tabs. Some general information about your annotated bibliographies, the Project Beth tab right here in the middle, and finally some more information about textbook discussions. These are the three major assignments for the class. Each one, if you'll recall, is worth 100 points. And so each of them kind of weigh the same in terms of this success in this class. So let's start with the annotated bibliography's general information. You will create 5 separate annotated bibliographies for this class. It requires you reading an additional 50 books for children. Most of these are picture books, and so reading these books will not take a great deal of time. I have set this up so that you're going to do 5 separate annotated bibliographies that meet the following requirements. You'll see them right here at the bullets. 10 Caldecott or Caldecott honor-winning books. And I would prefer that those books cover a 50-year range. So for example, go back from 2012, look at the books from the first decade of the 21st century. Look at the books from the 1990s and 1980s, 1970s. Try to pick a variety of books. One of the reasons for this is that most libraries, especially elementary school libraries and public libraries, will have a great many of the older Caldecott winners and the Caldecott honor books as well. So it will help you find these books quickly, get them read quickly, and then put together the annotated bibliography. You're going to present this annotated bibliography and prepare it as if you were going to distribute it either to children or to parents at a family literacy night, which means that we want it to kind of be attractive, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So you're going to do one bibliography that covers the Caldecott or Caldecott honor-winning books. You're going to do 10 books from the New York Times bestseller list for children's picture books from the summer of 2012 through the end of the year. These are the best-selling children's books, and notice I say children's picture books because these will be those 32-page picture books. In order to find that list, you're going to go to Google or a different search engine, type in New York Times bestseller list for children, click, find the current one, and from the current list, you can go back and back and back and back. For example, let's open a new browser window here and type in New York Times bestseller list for children. There it is right there. Click on the link. It will take you here. Generally, it takes you to the list for the previous Sunday. And if you scale down this page, you will eventually get to children's picture books. Click on that link. This will give you the most current listing of best-selling books for children. Here's Good Night Construction Site, a new version of The Night Before Christmas by Clark Clement Moore because I'm clicking on this in December of 2012. Pete the Cat Saves Christmas, Llama Llama to Share, Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons, press here, Pete the Cat, I Love My White Shoes, do you see a theme here? Olivia and the Fairy Princesses, this is related to one of the required books for class. This is Not My Hat by John Classam, and Safari by Dan Kanan. In order to find previous lists, simply click on the back arrow. It will take you to earlier and earlier lists. You can continue to click on this and it will take you to different lists, and you'll see that in some cases the books remain the same and in other cases they change. Here's the Thankful book. This is leading up to Thanksgiving holiday, so not surprised to see that occur here. So you can continue to click the back arrow key to see what other books appeared on this list. You're to select 10 of them, and that's to be included in the second of your annotated bibliographies. Your third annotated bibliography is for books from the Pura Belpré Award list. These are books that feature Hispanic characters and are written and or illustrated by Hispanics. So here are books that celebrate Hispanic culture. You're going to have another annotated bibliography. Bibliography number 4 is going to look at 10 Coretta Scott King winners and or honor books. These are books that feature characters who are African American and that are written and or illustrated by African American main characters. And your final annotated bibliography is going to look at 10 books from the Geisel Award. The Geisel Award is named after Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel, and these are books for beginning readers. So those are the 5 categories of the list that you're going to do for annotated bibliographies. I've given you some tips here. First, please understand that all of your annotated bibliographies need to use APA format. If you're unsure what that format looks like, again, take one of your search engines and request information on APA format. And you're going to find lots and lots of different examples. Here's one directly from the American Psychology Association. Click on this and it will take you to the style sheet and it will show you what those citations should look like. There are even apps and programs that are available that you can type in the information and it will put your bibliography in APA format for you. So bibliographies, in addition to being an APA format, need to be in alphabetical order by the author's last name. This may seem like something really obvious, something you should know, but I can tell you that sometimes people just forget and they turn in bibliographies that are not alphabetized by the author's last name. That's a sure way to get points deducted from this assignment. Keep your annotations short. These are picture books, and so you should be able to summarize the picture books in 75 to 100 words. After all, remember that a lot of these books don't have that many words in them. They're 32 pages long, and they have illustrations. Finally, since these are to reflect ones that you would hand out at a parent night, they should be attractive in format. You can use trifolds, you can use Publisher, for example, to produce them. You can use simply some clip art for them, but just make sure that these look good. We don't want just a page of bibliography after bibliography after bibliography. There'll be more information about each of these assignments, these particular annotated bibliographies, here at Live Binder under this tab that says Annotated Bibliographies, and there'll be more also at Blackboard for this particular class. So that's just some general information about how to do the annotated bibliographies. The second major assignment for this class is Project Beth. Beth stands for Books Entering Texas Homes. And it is a project dreamed up by Dr. Chance, one of our colleagues here in the department, to help ensure that kids have books available to them in their home. And so Project Beth is going to require some time and effort on your part to make sure that books get into homes. The instructions for completing the Project Beth assignment are found right here under this sub-tab. It gives you all of the requirements of the assignment, including a table that really does specify each and every step you took along the way, a self-reflection that you'll turn in at the end that talks about how this project went and what you learned as a result of it. There are procedures for doing the project, and they're all spelled out in this particular sub-tab right here. One of the things that you need to bear in mind is that in order to participate in Project Beth, you will have to visit one of our Project Beth library caches. We've got one here in the department. We've got one over in the Newton Gresham Library as well. Right now, those are the only two that we have. And the reason for that is for each family that you identify and for each child within that family, you're going to select at least 5, if not 10, books to take to those kids, books that will become their property. We are providing those, we being Dr. Chance and me, Dr. Lassane, we're providing those for you. Free of charge, so that you don't have to be spending money to buy books to put in the hands of kids. So somehow or another, you're going to have to make either a trip to Huntsville to visit one of the caches here, or we're going to have to make some alternative arrangements, and you'll have to discuss that with me at some point after the semester begins. But I will be up here at designated times to let you into the book library and let you pick out the books that you need to take to those students. So that's Project Beth. All of the information right there. The final piece in terms of assignments for this class has to do with the textbook discussion. Remember that you're using Sylvia Vardell's textbook for the class, and you're going to be applying the criteria that Sylvia talks about in this book to the different books that you read that are part of the required reading for the class, the ones on the front of the syllabus, the ones that I talked about in the first screencast. If you click on this tab, it will show you some generic kind of information about the textbook assignments. For each of the assignments, you'll be given a list of textbooks. You'll be given directions about what pages to refer to in the textbook. And for most of them, you'll have a choice about how to present your discussion. You can do it in a typical formal essay, but you can also do bulleted lists, charts and graphs, Prezi, Animoto, PowerPoints, Haiku Deck, other apps, other approaches. It's going to be up to you, by and large, for these textbook discussions to decide on what kind of format that final discussion takes when you're done. A couple of the textbook discussions do indicate the form and format, so be careful and read all of the instructions very carefully. When in doubt, email me if you have a question. And finally, work can always be turned in before the assigned due date, but I do not accept late work. Please make sure you understand that. Please make sure you mark these dates down. I just have to keep up with the grading, and the only way to do that is if you turn work into me on time. So that's a general overview of the different assignments for this class. I hope that this particular screencast helps you understand a little bit more about the assignments for the class. Thanks a lot, and I'll be talking to you soon.